back, comadres. We are back today to share with you some stories from the community that might give you kind of a sneak peek into what is possible here for you. We have so many different women joining from different backgrounds, different life experiences, looking for different things from the community, and we thought that the best way to kind of give you a sense of that idea of possibility within Las Comadres is through sharing their stories. Yes. And so we are going to kick it off with one story in particular that I love, of a woman who is such a hustler that she actually inspired part of how we are running the community today. And so let's give you the backstory. So this woman had just recently moved to Miami, and she had been working in corporate for maybe like 12 years. And she really, really knew, like she was sure that she was leaving that job.
She was done. It was over.
It was over. She was done with it. And she was planning to start her own business in the fashion industry. And so as a newcomer to Miami, she really wanted to build community here. She wanted to connect with people here. And so she decided to reach out and connected with me, and then ended up connecting with the Comadres community. And Jamie, do you want to share what she did?
So she decided that the way that she was going to connect with the community was that she was going to meet every single comadre, like every single one, all of them. She was going to have some kind of meeting with, a Zoom meeting, a breakfast, a lunch, a dinner, a drinks, a coffee, a whatever. She did them all. And she met every week. She was meeting like 2 to 3 comadres and really was like forming really great relationships that she knew was going to serve her once she left her job. And in that, we like really discovered like how important not just like the bigger meetings were, but the little tiny personal relationships that everybody was forming to make these like much bigger impacts in the world.
Yes. And it's so funny because I think through several comadres actually engaging in that behavior organically, we realized that there was an opportunity for us to actually get a tool that matched comadres randomly every 2 weeks. And so they have an opportunity to connect on a one-on-one deeper basis and build those friendships and connections by actually having that match happen. And so, yeah, like this is just, and now she has started her own business. It's thriving. She's super excited. And she knows that she has an entire crew, an entire community that is backing her up in this new venture.
Yeah. And that I think makes it super important. I think some of the people, maybe the slightly more introverted people, find this to be the most intimidating thing they've ever heard.
Yes.
Right.
So we have a story of like one of our favorite introverts, because we also have to say, so Jamie and I are 2 giant extroverts, and somehow we are also honored that our community feels welcoming to a lot of introverts.
Yes.
Like a lot.
You do not need to be extroverted like us. We need the introverts to calm it down in here.
100%. No, it is a beautiful balance. But yes, there are a lot of introverts, especially in the creative spaces, that are part of the community, that do engage in a very different way, and that at the beginning have admitted that they felt like a little intimidated by this idea of like joining this community with all these people, and how would they find their place. And so we want to tell the story of someone in particular who we know and love. She is a video producer, and she had been working most of her life kind of behind the scenes, but she started coming to a magical little event called Sister Circle. And so, yeah, she just started coming to Sister Circle. And do you remember, Jamie? It was just like, she kind of would sit in the background at the beginning.
And then she started talking a little more, and then she felt very, very comfortable there and was able to really express herself and talk about who she was as a person, not just as this video producer, but like who she really, really was.
Yes.
Which then gave her the confidence, I think, to come to other events and do other things, come to co-working, see what that was about.
And this woman I imagine this was like kind of like in her heart for a while to create, has since created almost like a side brand where she is kind of standing more on her own personal brand, where she does regular videos on Instagram. Like this would have been unheard of before. But there's something about being in the community um, in a safe space to start showing up as who you truly are, to start feeling a little bit more confident, to know that you have a whole community of people that have your back, and to test things out in a safe little bubble before you bring them into the world. And that, I think, is a format that really helps all of our comadres, but especially the ones that feel like they have a little bit more of an introverted nature. It just kind of like eases you into that experience. You don't feel that sense of pressure, like I have to like go super hard and super exposed from the beginning.
Yeah, and I think that that's like the difference in the networking that we do. I think that there's like this space of, it's not your typical, you're not going to a chamber. This is not what we're doing over here. This is much more heartfelt. We are here for like the whole you, the whole experience. We have another woman who joined Comadres, and she came into it like she did not understand what was happening, and she was really like, well, how do I do this? How? She wanted to know all the pieces, and she was very used to bringing her corporate side. She actually does work in a 9 to 5, and she knew that she needed more community. She has the most beautiful little baby daughter, and she wanted to be around more women and more community, and was really not experiencing that in all the other ways that she was doing things. But when she first came, she was like, well, I need to know what the rules are. I need to know all the things. And we were like, it's not that kind of thing. It's not, we don't have those kind of rules. And she has like softened and seen all the things that can happen when you're involved in a community that really cares about your whole self. She went from like really stressing about it, like, well, what is the networking situation, to like diving in deep to how she feels and what is happening and, what is going on in the world.
Yes. And I think another thing that really happened with her is that she recognized that there is value not only in showing up for in showing up as this like corporate persona, but that you could also show up in like share, hey, this is how I'm feeling in my relationship, this is how I'm feeling as a mother, this is how I'm feeling with my friendships. And that there was like an opportunity for her to expand her own business and expand her own sense of herself by looking at everything holistically, right? Like looking at her professional self and looking at her personal self. Like I think we opened her eyes to the fact that it doesn't happen in a silo, that we are not kind of robots that compartmentalize like the pieces of our lives, that every time that we walk into a space, like all of us can walk into a space. And although not everywhere is welcoming of that, we encourage it. Like that is what we are about. We are about encouraging all of you to show up.
Yes.
Right.
So if that is inspiring you to, want to learn more, if you want to find out what is going on in our community, check out lascomadres.club. We are having a amazing event on the 26th where you can experience us and see what it's like to be in Las Comadres. And we would love to have you.
Awesome. All the details are on the site, and we hope to see you there. Bye.